The following is inspired by the song Where the Wild Things Are by Luke Combs. This is a work of fiction, and any similarities to any events or persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental. Hi, my name's Luke, and I want to talk to you about somebody that I miss and somebody that I love dearly. I idolized my big brother James. He had about 2.5, 3 years on me, and growing up, I was definitely his little brother. He took care of me. We play together, rough house fight, as brothers do. And when we became teenagers, he taught me about girls and how to be cool and all that, and the importance of art. See, my brother, he got bit by the acting bug, and he got into music, got into dance. He had a real talent. He even had a garage band with his friends all the way through school. And my brother was always kind of the rebellious type. He took after Daddy that way. Yeah, him and Mama had a lot of throwdowns every now and again, but she loved him, and he loved her. I always knew that. Well, working all the way through school, he was saving up because he wanted to get himself an Indian Scout bike. He had his eye on it. It was black. It was gorgeous. Well, right after he turned 18, he did it. He bought the Scout, and for Christmas that year, we bought him a black leather jacket to go along with it. Now, it ain't complete without American Spirit cigs hanging out of the mouth. Just like Daddy did. He took after Daddy again like that. And I thought it was the coolest damn thing in the world, I'll tell you. Now, that summer, we decided that we're going to be good, okay? We're going to make it through the world. Now, I was still in high school, but he was going to go somewhere. He was going to do something. So, he started saving up, and about 1.5 years later, he made the decision. He was going to move out to California. The reason being was he had true talent. He was going to make it in the movies. He was going to make it on the music scene out there. My mama begged him, just go to Nashville, okay? You sing good country, but you don't need to be going all the way out to California to make it. Okay, he said, but Mama, look, I got this bug. I've got to do this. If I don't do it, I ain't gonna. I'll just be here for the rest of my life, and I don't want that. Now me, I respected him for that. It was the end of my senior year, and I had stars in my eyes for him. So everybody but Mama agreed with him. And a few weeks later, we were out saying goodbye to him. He had pretty much everything he owned in a couple of bags strapped to the back of his motorcycle. That Scout, lit a cigarette, waved goodbye, and kick-started it. Broke Mama's heart that day. Sorry. He broke Mama's heart that day when he left. Now, he was a good boy, and he called us every little bit, when he stopped to stretch his legs, gas up, get something to eat, let us know he was alive and everything was fine. The bike was running great. When he stopped for the first night, he was in Oklahoma, and he and I sat and talked for hours. I told him I missed him, loved him. But oddly, it felt like something was there. I don't know what. I swear I could hear something in the background. And I asked him, hey, is there anybody there with you? And he said, no, I'm alone, just me in this motel room. Everything's fine. I said, okay, well, y'all have a good night. Talk to you soon. So about a day and a half later, he rolled into California. He stopped by gas and called and told us about the Joshua trees out there. Now, I never been further west than the Mississippi. I've never even been to Texas. I'd like to go one day, but I don't know. So he's telling me all about the deserts out there. The only thing I've ever seen are forests and farm fields and rivers. Okay, I've seen the ocean a time or two headed south, but ain't nothing like that. So he already had the apartment. He was headed towards it, and he got in, set his stuff down, and called us and said, hey, I made it. I'm alive. Little brother, you got to see this. This place is amazing. And for the next few months, whenever we'd talk, he'd tell me that. He would tell me that Los Angeles was one of the greatest places in the world. He'd tell me about all the people he was meeting, all the jobs he would have to take in between his auditions and all that. And yeah, it was tough, but he was doing what he loved. I remember my mama asking him, really, do you think waiting tables and washing dishes is something you love? He said, Mama, come on now. Everybody's got to start somewhere. So he landed this big national commercial. They needed a gentleman with a proper Southern accent. My brother had it. They needed him to sing, and they didn't want to pay anybody a lot of money because they were broke. So they didn't want to get themselves a country star. But they needed somebody who could do just the same thing. My brother fit the bill perfect. He called us and said, hey, pay attention on TV. I'm going to be on it. We watched his video, and my daddy and I cheered for him. My sister cheered for him. My mama was quiet. So I called my brother up and I said, congratulations, big bro. That is gorgeous. You are amazing. He says, so, when y'all coming out? I said, well, I got some time off work, so I'll come out next week. So I booked myself a flight and off I went. Flew out there and called him from the back of the plane, and I said, hey, I'm here. Come pick me up. He said, all right, I'll be right there. So I sat outside waiting for him. About an hour, he pulls up. Got his bike, leather jacket, smoking a cigarette, like always. And he says, well, howdy there, little brother. How you been? So I climbed on the back of it, put on my helmet, and off we went. Took me to his apartment, and I stayed there. We had a great time. Next day, he took me out to the Strip out in Hollywood. Showed me all the tourist places. Took me to this record shop the size of your biggest Walmart you'd ever seen. And there were beautiful girls all over the place. People taking pictures of things that I knew existed, but I didn't quite understand. He showed me everything. We went drinking that night. We had us a great time. And I loved it. Interestingly, though, looking back on this, I do know it was there. The closer I got, there was this guy who was always watching me. He had on a real nice suit, but it was always out of the corner of my eye. Whenever I turned to look, he wasn't there no more. I thought nothing of it, maybe it was just my imagination, but there was something there. Well, anyway, we were at the club. The guy comes up to us and shakes hands with my brother and says, "Hey, good to see you again." My brother knew him, introduced us. I don't remember the guy's name, though. It was something common, like John or Mike or something like that. Anyway, he invited us to a party the next day. He said, "We're getting started at my place, give or take around 6. Come hungry. I'm going to feed you." Well, my brother and I were never ones to turn down a good free meal, especially catered by some of the wealthiest people in the world, so we were there. Well, it was quite the party, and, well, I got to go swimming with a really pretty girl. We were surrounded by movie stars. She was a bit of a starlet, gorgeous blonde, one of the most ravishing women I've ever met in my life. And I got to make out with her, among other things, right in that pool. I'd had a lot to drink, had a lot to eat too. I guess I got a little bit too excited because, well, I got to watch all of that in reverse right in front of her. After I opened my eyes from the initial shock of it, I looked at her and something was off. I'm not sure if it was her hair, if it was the dizziness from the alcohol or the puking, but she didn't look the same. I closed my eyes, shook my head, and she was back to normal. She asked me if I was okay, and I said, "Yeah, I'm okay. Let's get out of the pool. I don't want to be in here with this." She said, "Yeah, you're right." So we got out and exchanged numbers. I haven't spoken to her since. Well, we got back to my brother's apartment, and he asked, "So, what do you think? You want to move out here with me? I bet you do great. I saw the sexy little girl you were playing with, and just think about that, her and so many others for you. That could be something for you, little brother. You get yourself a nice wife, get you some kids. You know, you could even work with me. It would be amazing. I'll even help take care of you till you get your feet wet." And I looked at him. And out of the corner of my eye, I knew for a fact we were the only people in that apartment. There was somebody else there. Every hair on the back of my neck stood up on end, and I said, "Well, sorry. I can't do that. I got a life back home. This was fun, but that's all it was." And I took off. I flew back the next day, called my brother, let him know I was home. Straight to voicemail. I guess he was busy working, or maybe he was mad at me, I don't know. I only spoke to him one more time after that. It was about 2 weeks later. He called me up and said, "Hey, I just want to let you know there's no hard feelings. I love you. And I got another audition I got to get to, and then I'm going to go out and play with my friends." I said, "All right, well, y'all be safe. We'll talk again soon." He never called me. We got a call from Los Angeles Police Department 2 days later. It said that we regret to inform you that there has been an accident involving my brother. And said those Indian scouts, they're built for speed. They also said the tox report showed several chemicals in his system. He said he hit the guardrail a little bit past 3 a.m. Excuse me. He died on impact. Helmet didn't save him. Nothing did. Broke his neck in 3 places. At least I got upset. At least I told him I loved him. Well, we couldn't afford to bring his body back from Los Angeles, so we all had to go out there. Transit fees were too much. We buried him out there. That place. I remember being at his graveside, looking over my shoulder, seeing that man in the suit. He was a ways off. I'd say 100 feet. Looked like he was smoking. I couldn't tell if he was wearing a cowboy hat or his hairstyle a certain way or whatever, but damn, I got a nasty feeling. See, my brother, he may have died in an accident, but that ain't what killed him. That place where them wild things are out there, that's what killed him. I miss my brother. And I'm fairly certain that he'd been touched by evil. Thank you. Y'all stay safe now. Well, thank you very much for listening. I've been Richard Vigorelli, portraying Luke. Yes, that was me. Not bad of a southern accent, right? Yeah, well, you know. So, subscribe, leave a comment. Feel free to yell at me, okay? Link in the description for my social media and my website, vimandvigorelli.com. Got books, merchandise, etc. out there. I will be back later with something else. You guys take care. Bye.